Good evening, fellow duelists. Vampire YGO here again, coming back to you with another BUSTER BLADER CRUSADIA deck profile. The previous profile that I have posted for this specific deck is actually my most viewed video on my channel, so like usual, I'd like to thank everyone for the comments, likes, dislikes, subscribes, and all the input that I've gotten. Thank you everyone for the feedback, but I mean, obviously there's a few changes since. I wanted to wait till the ban list dropped to kind of show this build. I've been working with this build for a little while. I feel it is extremely fast and it creates some pretty crazy boards. It does kind of suck that the Red MD errata did come sooner than I thought. Obviously, pretty much was updated, I think, if not yesterday, 2 days ago at least, into the Yu-Gi-Oh card database, where it is now the only legal effect that you can use for the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, to where it is now a once per turn. Does not matter the fact that Crystron, Halka Fibrax, or Needle Fiber, whichever one you want to call it, is still in play. That can actually make it to where it can still go full combo, but not to the extent that it could with Red MD being at its full power there. But you can still get off the same board, essentially, that I kind of showed in the last one there. Just more of a guarantee, essentially. You have the 3 of the Buster Whelp of the Destruction Sword. I mean, all the artwork and everything for the Buster Blader lore is impeccable. I really like the fact that they kind of have like this little pack of, so it looks like some sort of like, you know, goat, dog, dragon things that he has that kind of grow throughout the time that you see through the artwork there. This one's actually one of the best ones. It's a tuner and it has 3 different effects. When it's normal summoned, you can add 1 Destruction Sword card from your deck to your hand. You're usually going to want to go with this one if you do not already have it. And then his second 2 effects, as you can see there, is you contribute him while he's on the field to special summon a Buster Blader from your hand or graveyard. It does not say Buster Blader monster, it does say Buster Blader, so essentially it is one that you test to essentially acquire the name, but both of the Buster Bladers that you use do that, so it's not a big deal. And then the other one is if he's in the graveyard and you control a Buster Blader, you can discard a Destruction Sword card, so essentially like one of the other trap cards to get it into the grave, and then special summon Buster Blader, or discard a Destruction Sword card, special summon this one. And then him being a tuner, level 1 is awesome. You can also get around the Crusadia build by getting him, if you kind of get one of your more mediocre hands, by normal summoning him, getting his effect for the search, and then using him into the Link Karibo, special summon in the Crusadia, and then getting your combo off going that way. So there's multiple ways, but you're usually going to want to see the Crusadia package to get it rolling. And then the tuner process part of it, you can take advantage with Halka Fibrax, but you're usually going to want to go with Dragon Buster just to get it into the grave at that point, artwork wise. It's like him just chilling in a basket, fresh baby dragon. And then you have the 1 and 2 Destruction Sword. I think I was running 3 in the last build. 2 is perfectly fine. You have 2 ways to get it out now that the new Link monster is out. That one is also not in my previous profile because the Dual Overload had came out about a week or so after I had posted the previous profile. So that also gives it a little bit more spice essentially to the deck since the last profile that I've posted. I mean, most people know what this card does by now. I'm extremely surprised that it has not gotten hit by the list. It's actually not been abused as much lately. It's more of still some Adamancipator builds that will try to get this out there, but not as many. And then I know I've seen Orchist kind of try to rely on this one, and then a few different builds of machine decks as well that can use the Union Carry to get this thing out. But it's pretty much to lock your opponent out from the extra deck when it's equipped to another monster, and it can also special summon itself while it's equipped to the field, and you can use its tuner-like ability, but you don't really go with that. You usually want to keep it equipped and then protect it. Also, again, level 1. And then that's pretty much your main target for the Halka Fibrax. You're going to have 2 Buster Blader monsters. You're going to have Buster Blader, the classic Originale. I like the tin version a lot. I have the original first edition Ultra as well. It's one of my original ones that I pulled, but I still really like the appearance of the secret rare. And you have Buster Blader, the Destruction Sword Master. He's pretty cool while he's on the field there. You can target a destroyed monster that happens to be destroyed during your opponent's turn by card effect or by battle, and then you can equip it to this card, and then you can send one monster that is equipped to it to the graveyard to destroy all monsters your opponent controls during your turn of the same type of that one sent to the graveyard. But again, you don't use that one too often. You usually use him more for Link salvage or remove from play to get the fusion out. And then obviously the increase effect by 500 for the dragon type on your opponent's monsters. And then when he's in the grave or on the field, he also becomes Buster Blader. So either one. The one recently errated Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. The artwork on this one is still one of the, I think, sickest, for a Red Eyes monster. The errata kind of sucks. I wish they really wouldn't have done it. I don't feel like it was a problem at the moment to errata the card. They don't usually errata a card until it hits a ban list too, and once they re-release it off the ban list. So it kind of sucked that they hit a card that they've never really banned, and again, I didn't really see it as being a problem within these last few current formats. But you know what this one does. When it is now special summon, you can special summon a dragon type monster from your hand or graveyard there. But you can still, before the errata, you could special summon him 4 times to 5 times in a match. In the essentially a combo, and I can see why, but there wasn't many decks or dragon decks that are abusing this one at the moment there. But you can still get him out multiple times, which is awesome. The 3 Crusadia Draco, he's one of the most important, I think, for the Crusadia package that you have. You get him for the research from the graveyard, and then obviously the special summon capability to the link arrows. All the Crusadia package effect monsters for the base deck monsters all have the double ability. They have one that they all share, which is where they special summon to where a link arrow points to once per turn, and then they have their secondary effects, which Crusadia Draco just happens to be. Take another Crusadia monster from your graveyard and add it to your hand. So you usually want to select the one that was normal summoned to start off your combo. And then he's also extremely important to make sure, because he's going to be the one that you turn into LP, so you do not want to use this one until you have the right proper spot to get him under the Spatha, and you're not going to move him. Sorry, I saw the remote in my hand. 3 Arborea, she's actually pretty dang important too. She can protect any of your Crusadia cards. Doesn't really come up as much, but she's also a tuner, so she can also be on the back end. If you already have a Buster or need an option through more mid-game, you can search her through Haka Fibrax as well. And then her ability is to, when she's in the grave, she can protect the Crusadia monster in the field if you get Avermax out or something like that. Yeah, the board with the red MD that you would be able to make before was Apollosa with 2 negates, 2 to 3 depending on what the combo is, and then you can have Avermax plus the Buster Blader Fusion and the Synchro of Buster Dragon on board. We have 3 Crusadia Reclusia. This one's awesome too. I really like all the artwork of the Crusadia package. I have the regular Crusadia OTK package that I still need to, or deck profile that I still need to profile as well for the video for YouTube, because I have not done that one in a long time, and I know that one is extremely popular as well. Reclusia actually turns into Magus. Sorry for the focus there. This one's effect is, it's actually pretty important too. It has a pop ability going second, so pretty much when this one hits that link summon spot, it activates and you contribute a Crusadia monster on your side of the field, and then target a card on your opponent's side of the field and destroy it. You can use the Arborea to protect it from its own effect so it does not get destroyed, and still use it as link capability as well. And 2000 defense on that and the Draco, which is actually pretty cool. We've got 3 Maximus. We have no Leonis in this. It's just, plenty with this amount. It's not full for the core essentially, so you don't really need every Crusadia monster in here. But 3 Maximus. The camera has a little bit of a hard time focusing on that prismatic. It's pretty trippy, but awesome card as well. He gives your Crusadia monsters a double damage boost during attack. And then again, also he's pretty much just link fodder as your main thing, or you can get him for attack power if you're trying to finish a game there. But usually the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman will do that for you if you're doing things right. We've got 3 Ash Blossom. It kind of varies. I swapped this out for Dark Ruler No More for a little while, but again, this deck is mainly going first. It is extremely powerful going first. Going second is not the best, so the Dark Ruler More is still in the side deck, but Ash is still just kind of like the hope that you can see getting extra piece to swap in and out or get from your Saryuja plays. And you could, before with the red MD, you could get Saryuja 3 times, but now it's pretty much 2 is the max you really want to go. 3 World Legacy Succession. I think I only had 1 in the last one, if I'm not mistaken. 1 Monster Reborn and 1 each. You want to max out on these. You can just essentially just keep spamming or keep the combo going with the Respawn spam. There's 3 cards in this deck that you can use. Essentially, you might even be able to boost it to an extra one with the World Legacy Guard Dragon. But 3 World Legacy section, target 1 monster in your graveyard and special summon it to a spot that a link arrow points to. And then I think 2 is fine. I had 3, but it was just seemed a little much because you really would rather see Succession or Monster Reborn. But the 2 World Legacy Guard Dragon is just pretty much another capability of Reborn. Your Reborn process of all the cards is to just get the link going to get pretty much end on an Appaloosa with as many negates as possible, or even an Avermax as well, just depending on what's going on. There's also, you can do cards which I do not have in here, like the Unchained Abomination, the Link 4, and then there's obviously a few other options that people can go to as well. But this one revives a level 4 dragon from your graveyard or adds it to your hand, and then you can also target a dragon card on your field and swap its card placement into a different one. And then you have 1 Monster Reborn, so it's the 3rd Reborn card here. Usually when you're doing with Saryuja, you will see multiple, or see one of these in your open hand. It is a 100% chance pretty much that I've seen with at least this ratio. Again, if you add 1 more World Legacy Guard Dragon, it could even boost it even more. You have 1 reinforcement of the army, obviously just to search for the Arborea, just to get the Crusadia going. That's the way you're going to want to start the process. And they have last for the spells. The 3 called by the grave, because going first, obviously you just want to be as least susceptible to hand traps as possible. But this deck can play through multiple, and even its mediocre board, like even if you just end on like a Link 2 or something like that, you can still make the combo and get everything out, because you don't need links anymore to get the Buster, Blader / the Synchro out. So even, like I said, with a crappy board, if you can get the trap card on the field, you can still get things rolling to have a pretty good chance of disrupting them there. And then for the trap cards, I think this is similar to the last one that I had, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's identical. You're going to run 3 Prologue of the Destruction Swordsman. This one is where you flip it up. This is the one you want to see mainly in your hand when you get the combo. When you end your turn, you send 1 Destruction Sword card and 1 Buster Blader monster from your deck to the graveyard. So you'll do either of the Buster Bladers, whichever one you first see. It doesn't matter. You can choose either or. And then you're going to want to choose the other trap card, which is the Destruction Sword Memories here. And then this is the one that's going to help you basically trigger right after that one, or chain off after. And then basically what happens is you get to special summon the Synchro monster, which is the Buster Dragon, onto the board. You're going to put them in defense. I also recommend putting the Buster Blader Fusion in defense, just in case they have Lightning Storm, so that way you can still keep the cards that are basically negating all their on-field effects. And then you have the Destruction Sword of the Memories here. Again, still the one that has like the misprint. It has like the purple ink leaked right there. It kind of makes it look like blood on the actual picture there. It's kind of adds a little bit to the story of the picture. It's kind of like, what do you want to call it? Alternate art. This one is, you can either, when this one's on the trap effect on the field, which you're pretty much never going to want to see it in there for, is you can discard a Destruction Sword card and special summon a Buster Blader from the deck. But what you're going to want to do is see this one in the actual graveyard, so you're going to make sure that's in there with this effect, and then you're going to activate this card here by banishing it, plus a Buster Blader, plus a Dragon monster, and you're just going to usually choose Crusadia Draco is my recommendation, and then you special summon the Fusion, then the Synchro. And then 2 Trap Trick, again, just because you really want to see the Prologue more than anything, and this you turn into your Prologue, so you can pretty much do the same thing. And activating the Memories in the graveyard does not count as the extra trap effect, so you can still activate Trap Trick, activate Prologue, or whoops, sorry, Prologue, then destroy Memories there. And then for the extra deck, I'm going a little faster this time just because I've had a few people, that was one of my biggest critiques, was my videos were a little bit long, so I apologize if I am going a little faster, because I know some people didn't mind. 2 of the Buster Blader, the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman. I mean, man, awesome card. The artwork is freaking ridiculous on him. I have an Instagram now where I post up close pictures of the artworks of a lot of the cards that I have. You can check it out as well. It's pretty cool. I just like to see them up close and kind of show, you know, some of the detail of the cards. It's one of the awesome things that I think Konami hides a lot of detail and tips and Easter eggs and things inside of these cards. And I mean, their storytelling and the way that they kind of go about it is freaking amazing, honestly. They're probably one of the best storytellers out of all like production companies that you can kind of go with here, in my opinion. But this one's, you know, your main guy here. You get him on board. Like I said, I usually put him in defense on the first turn there because you can just whip him to attack next turn. Based on his effect, he'll be safe anyway from attack. And pretty much what his effect is, all dragon monsters on your opponent's side of the field are turned to defense mode and their effects are negated, and he gains 1,000 attack for each dragon monster on your opponent's side of the field and or graveyard. And then when he attacks a defense position monster, it is piercing damage. So, I mean, depending on how many monsters on board that they have, he'll get that 1,000 boost, and it can be pretty painful or it can go pretty quick for your opponent at that point there. The only other thing too with the prologue that I forgot to mention is with the Buster Dragon, you do have to be aware that on the next standby phase of the next turn, or end phase of the next turn, I apologize, the Buster Dragon does get sent to the graveyard. So just be prepared to have to make another one or get another prologue on board there. You get 2 Buster Dragon as well. This card is awesome. It turns all of your opponent's monsters into dragon, and then once per turn, if you do not control a Buster Blader, you can target a Buster Blader in your graveyard and special summon. You don't really use that one too often. You can on your secondary turn if you have it. If you did end up getting one in the grave that didn't get banished from the fusion, and then you can also, the main thing is, right after you get him on board is you quick effect, because it's during your opponent's turn, you can target a Buster Blader monster you control, which is the fusion, and then you equip it with the Buster Dragon, the one that locks them out of their extra deck. And then during the end phase of the next turn, he's destroyed. So again, you'll beware because it does take that dragon ability away to making your opponent's monsters dragon. We had 2 Crusadia Mages, but it just wasn't happening to get him out as much, even during grindier games. But he's pretty much to start the combo off once you get your Crusadia package going. And then Spatha, same thing. You're going to use her to pretty much move the LP out of the way to special summon the Red MD from the deck. And the Mechanite Crusadia Abramax, it's just a monster that, again, depending on if you're going first or second, you don't make him as much. Usually you'll want to go Apollosa first turn to get the extra negates. Sometimes you can end with the Apollosa with at least 2 to 4 negates, with the Ash Blossom, with obviously the package of getting the fusion and synchro on board with the extra deck lock. But same thing, you can end with him as well because he takes 2 extra deck or 2 special summon monsters from the extra deck, with obviously being link 4. And then, I mean, that card is a problem for so many decks. Making it against Madolche the other day when I was playing my Crusadia pure deck, and man, the thing was just a problem for them. 1 link Rebo, it's pretty much not really using his effect as much either. He is to pretty much sacrifice if you get one of the Buster Blader Dragon monsters in your hand, the tuner level 1s for the normal summons. 1 LP, 1 Pisty. LP will help you get rolling into your first Saryuja there after you move it over from the Spatha, from the Draco, and then special summon the Red MD special summon, go to your first Saryuja. Saryuja make sure you get a dragon monster in your hand, which you always almost will. You'll get another one on board with the Pisty, and then pretty much again make your second Saryuja. And then another second edition, which is just awesome. Essentially, this card is just 2 monsters. It's really easy to make. It's a link 2, and then if it's summoned, you can send a Destruction Sword card from your deck to the graveyard, and then you can special summon 1 Buster Blader monster from your hand. And at the end of your battle phase, if your opponent controls no monsters, you can target 1 Buster Blader monster you control that did not declare an attack, and then you inflict damage to them equals to the monster's attack. I thought it was original, it was just to the attack. And then you can only use each effect once per turn. But the main effect, you never really use the second effect of that one either. This one is pretty much just get him on board. After you make the Halka Fibrex, you can go into this guy, and then if you didn't get a Destruction Sword or Buster Dragon into the grave yet, he is used to send the tuner to the grave there, so that way it can get out from the effect of the synchro. And 1 Crystron Halka Fibrex, it pretty much is the savior for this deck. Again, it would have just been able to make lesser intimidating boards. But the Halka Fibrex actually keeps it alive to boost the combo. So after your second Saryuja, when you get another monster on the field, if you have obviously one of the Reborn cards like the Succession Monster Reborn or the Royal Legacy Guard Dragon, you get out one of the tuners. link those two away, get Huck-Vibrax, get another tuner on board, which I usually say, again, go for the other Buster Dragon, just in case they called by the grave your other Buster Dragon, to get it out of the field, to kind of remove that part of the combo. That's why I like having two of those, and then it's two ways of getting it. You have both of them, easy ways of getting them into the graveyard if you didn't draw one in the first place. Let me know what you guys think about Huck-Vibrax too. I know a lot of people are calling for that card to get banned. I don't think it should get banned. It's still a newer card, and it's not as crazy as it kind of seemed when it first came out. But I do think it should go to 1, because I've seen a lot of decks abusing it at 2 and 3 before, and some decks with Hepatitis Extravagance using it as well. 2 Saryuja, again, with the Red MD errata not hit or at full power before, you could get 3 of these out and just basically create your own hand that you want to end with. It was awesome. But still 2 is amazing to go through, and then ending on an Appaloosa or a Mekk-Knight Abramax is still great. I mean, you have the artwork differentiaries here between the secrets and the ultras look freaking sick. Let me see if my camera focus on these guys. I don't know why it's having a hard time. Crazy card. Still crazy how people were calling for that one also to get banned, and here it is still at 3, and it's not even used as much. If that's crazy, pretty interesting, right? And then the 1 Appaloosa, the Bow of the Goddess. Again, that and the Abramax are kind of just my little throw in there. Appaloosa is just awesome to end on, but you can use other Link 4s, like I said, the Abomination for the Unchained, and a few others are a little bit more budget, but this one is definitely awesome to get because you can get it to anywhere from 2 to 4, no matter what, and then end with that trap card. Like I said, Ash in hand, you're pretty much ready to roll if you get that extra deck lock out there. And obviously get past Nibiru, because this deck is pretty hard against Nibiru, but again, as long as you get the trap card, even if you get Nibiru, you can still activate it, and you don't have to have Link Stones to save it there. Next, I guess I did put the side deck together for it, so I would like to show it. I guess it's kind of like going on current. The 3 Nibiru, the Primal Being. Everybody knows what this guy does. Most terrifying card in Yu-Gi-Oh right now, especially at least for combo players, I would say. Even some mid-range and even some control decks that have some combo going on. 3 DD Crow, just for the Eldritch and Shaddoll matchups, mostly Eldritch. Even certain points you can get rid of the Block Dragon for the Adamanticators is a big deal. 3 Dark Ruler no more. Like I said, there's a few decks that I'm actually running this in my main, like my hero deck that I can't wait to do. I still am slacking on getting a Liquid Soldier. It's the only card that I've needed for a long time, and I promise I'll have that video coming up soon, because I've had some people request the hero pack, the hero profile as well. But Dark Ruler no more. It's crazy how these cards, you know, I freaking pre-ordered these for like $3 each, and now it's like a $15 card, and then Nibiru as well was like $7 to $8 for freaking months, I feel like, until it kind of staggered at 10. Definitely want some back row destruction. I mean, it's kind of opinionated whether you want to go for Cosmic Cyclone or go for the Twin Twisters. I just like the Twin Twisters because you can get some cards sent from your hand to the graveyard that you can put in there, like the Dragon Buster or the Dragon Destruction Memories Fusion. Gosh, man, I swear there's so many Destruction, Swordsman, Fusion names that go on with the Buster Blader package, but Twin Twister over Cyclone in my opinion. And then last but not least, depending again as well, if you have a deck that is going hand trap crazy against you, or a deck that you know could possibly have Lightning Storm, you're definitely going first again using the Red Lotus to get that and yank it out of their hand, and then have knowledge of what they have going on. But yeah, that is the Buster Blader Crusadia package. Let me know if you guys want to see a combo video on it. It's pretty similar to the last one. Is the only reason I didn't show it in this one. It's just you're pretty much throwing Huck-Vibrax in right after you make your second Saryuja to keep the combo essentially just boosted at that point there. But yeah, thank you guys for your time. Appreciate it. Please let me know what you guys think. Any advice is awesome. Please like, dislike, and comment below. And thank you guys. Have a good one. Stay safe.